Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about module number 3, that is performance of transmission lines. Here we are going to discuss about that end condenser method and its limitations. So first of all, here we are going to discuss about end condenser method. End condenser method is nothing but one of the method of medium transmission lines. In this method, the capacitance of the line is lumped, are concentrated at the receiving end or load end as shown in this figure. So if you see this figure, here I am going to show that very clear. That is the capacitance of the transmission line which was offered per unit length of the conductor, which is taken at reference at the receiving end side. Here we can look in this figure very clear. Here I am taken the capacitance which is taken as a reference at the receiving end side. This is nothing but the amount of capacitance which was taken as a lumped parameter for a given length of the transmission line. So this method of localizing the line capacitance at the load and overestimates the effects of capacitance. In the below figure, here I am going to show that actually one of the phase of a three-phase transmission system. In three-phase transmission system, there are three phases which are electrically having that phase angle like 120 degrees between one phase by another phase. Among the three phases, I am taken here one of the phases as a reference with respect to neutral. So this is nothing but here one of the phase I am going to show that equivalent circuit diagram of one phase of a three-phase AC transmission line. So here in this figure I am going to show that this is that line resistance, line inductive reactance, and the amount of capacitance which was offered per unit length of the conductor for a given length of the transmission line, that is capacitance, which is taken as a reference at the receiving end side. And here Vs is called as the sending end voltage, Is is called as the sending end current, Ir is called as the receiving end current, and Vr is the receiving end voltage, and here it is the load. With respect from one parameter by another parameter, if we want to show that relation, then definitely we have to approach that phasor diagram. In this phasor diagram, I am going to show the relation between, here I am taken that Vr as a reference voltage, that is receiving end voltage. Between receiving end voltage and the sending end voltage, there is a phase angle. This is nothing but Vs, and for this sending end voltage and the receiving end voltage, there is that Is of Z, which is in quadrature to Vs and Vr here. Then to this Vr, that is called as receiving end voltage, there is a drop with respect to the resistance, that is Is into R. Then for this Is into R, that is nothing but voltage drop across the resistance which was taken as a lumped parameter for a given length of the transmission line. The voltage drop with respect to that inductive reactance, that is I into XL, here we are taken in quadrature to Is into R. This is Is into XL. Now, if I want to show the relation between currents and the voltage, here I am going to show that this is that Vs, sending end voltage, and Is is nothing but sending end current. The phase angle which is existed between sending end voltage and sending end current called pi s, and receiving end voltage Vr and receiving end current Ir. The relation between, or the phase angle between receiving end voltage and receiving end current Ir can be represented as pi r. And again, among the three currents like sending end current, receiving end current, and the capacitor current, if I want to show the relation between these three currents, here we are taken that IR as the reference current, then Is and Ir having some phase angle because of the line resistance and line inductive reactance, and with respect to that IR, there is an IC which is in quadrature to IR here. So this is about that the relation between one parameter by another parameter, what we notice in this phasor diagram according to the given circuit diagram. So from this circuit diagram, here we are going to assume that IR is the load current per phase, capital R is equal resistance per phase, and XL is nothing but inductive reactance per phase, and C is nothing but capacitance per phase. Cos of pi R is nothing but receiving end power factor, so usually it is lagging power factor, and Vs is called as sending end voltage per phase. Instead of cos of pi R, if you take cos of pi S, that is sending end power factor, and the phasor diagram what we seen like just now, from there I am going to take in that VR bar as a receiving end voltage as the reference voltage. If I am going to get the vector component of VR bar is equal VR at an angle of 0 degrees in polar form. In rectangular form, V capital V suffix R plus J0 in rectangular form. Similarly, the load current IR bar, that is IR at an angle of minus pi R, that we can take it into IR of cos pi R minus J sin pi R. And similarly here we can write that capacitive current called IC. So in this circuit diagram there is a capacitor, the current flowing through this capacitor, capacitor called capacitive current, that is IC. We will write that mathematical equation for IC, that is IC is equal to, actually we have to write IC is equal receiving end voltage VR bar divided by XC. XC is nothing but 1 by omega C. So 1 by j omega C means again it will come as j VR bar of omega C. Omega means 2 pi f. So we can write that j 2 pi f C VR. Therefore the sending end current IS bar, is equal to the algebraic sum of the remaining two currents, one is IR bar and IC bar. This equation here we are written by applying Kirchhoff current law at this node. So from this node onwards, here the sending end current IS is equal the algebraic sum of the two leaving currents, one is IC, one is IR here. So IS bar is nothing but, I can substitute that IR bar formula. Here IR bar formula means this one, and IC bar formula. If I am going to substitute these two formulas at here, the remaining equation, the vector sum of IS bar can become as IR of cos pi R minus J sin pi R, that is plus J 2 pi FC VR. So here IR, if I am going to multiply IR to cos pi R, it becomes IR into cos pi R minus J into sin pi R into IR. So minus plus J, if we taken that separately, because here also J is there, here also J is there. So plus J of minus IR into sin pi R plus 2 pi FC VR. So as we know that Z bar is equal R plus J into XL. The voltage drop per phase, that is IS bar into Z bar is equal IS bar of R plus J XL. Similarly, the sending end voltage Vs bar is equal VR bar plus IS bar into Z bar. So here Vs bar is equal VR bar plus IS bar into Z bar means the sum of real component and imaginary component R plus JXL. Thus the magnitude of sending end voltage Vs can be calculated by percentage of voltage regulation, that the difference between sending end voltage minus receiving end voltage divided by VR into 100. Therefore the percentage of voltage transmission efficiency, that is equal power delivered divided by power sent. Power sent is nothing but again power delivered plus losses per phase. Therefore the percentage of voltage transmission efficiency in terms of power, here we can write the formula VR into IR into cos of pi R divided by again power sending, that is VR IR cos of pi R, receiving end power plus losses IS square into R. Next, what are the limitations of end condenser method? The major limitations of end condenser method, although the end condenser method for the solution of medium lines is simple to work out calculations, because easily we can find out the unknown parameters with help of that end condenser method, because in case of end condenser method where we are taken that the effect of capacitance at the receiving end of the transmission line. So there is a considerable error in case of an end condenser method, that is about 10% in calculations, because the capacitance is distributed but we are treated it as a lumped parameter. So we are treated it as a lumped parameter at the receiving end side where we are placed that capacitance. Here I am going to show in this figure. Here we can identify that capacitance is taken as a reference at the load side. So we are taken that capacitance as a lumped parameter even though it is distributed in case of an medium transmission line. So it is one of the drawback where 10%, that is considerable error about 10% in calculations because the distributed capacitance has been assumed to be lumped or concentrated. And this method overestimates the effects of capacitance. These are the two major disadvantages or drawbacks or limitations of end condenser method. Thank you.